This is a show, a podcast show. Do not be obsessed with your obsession. Believe it or not, this is just an entertainment. Creepy tale.
Good evening to everyone who is listening to Creepy Tales. You'll be following Freddy on the story which I'm going to share with you guys throughout the night. Anywhere you are, wherever you are at home, driving, sitting with your friends or alone. So sit tight and enjoy the story. This story is about a holiday turns horror at Medan. My parents get this great deal from Trivago for days 3 nights stay at resort. Indonesian somewhere in Medan, where I will not disclose the location. Anyway, this resort comprised of villas. Ours was a 3-bedroom villa, basically as accommodation allowed it. We family of 5 went ready to have a splendid time. Nothing weird happened the first 2 nights. However, on the 3rd day, both of my brothers have encountered weird things happen on their left arm, where they spotted a swollen black mark on both of their arms, which both is on the same spot. My mom and dad had started to feel something was not right, but since this was their holiday with their kids, they intended to ignore the situation. Later that night, my brothers and I sat in the living room chatting when my elder brother suddenly said to me, "Let's go to sleep now," even though it was just 10 p.m. Usually, we would stay late night till 3 or 4 a.m. And when he voiced out that he wants to go to sleep, all of us was stunned. Before we could raise any objection on this, we added, "Don't ask any question. I'll tell you guys inside your room." Me and my younger brother demanded him for a solid explanation there and then. Finally, he whispered, "I saw a lady in white with long hair and black figure at the corner sliding door." Okay, there was a good reason. Anyway, we just went straight to the bedroom in shock, saving all our questions for later. When we settled down in my room, My elder brother described what he saw. Earlier, when we were in the living room, he went to the kitchen to wash his hand. During rinsing his hand on the tap, he glanced out of the window and get a shock when he noticed a lady in white flowing dress floating beside a tree less than 10 meters from our villa. Although it was a dark outside, one of the ground spot lamp was shining in the same direction where the lady was. Those added light made his vision clear enough for what he would notice next. Her long hair covered her face, so he was fortunate enough to be spared from possible horrific light. Looking down her white cloth frame, he realized that she had no legs, was indeed suspended in mid-air. Weird stuff happened later that night. Both myself and my elder brother heard steps going up of the creepy staircase. They don't think much, assuming it was me going to get a glass of water from the kitchen. Also, they realized that our room door had been left ajar when in fact we had it locked before going to bed. Moreover, there were sweating buckets despite the aircon. The next morning, while talking about the past night events, I mentioned that I had not gotten up at all. I was dead fast asleep the whole night. Also, strangely, I was feeling very chilling cold, and I kept tugging at the blanket. Imagine, how could it be feeling hot? Hours before we left Medan, we have a small chit-chat with the employees at the resort, and to our amazement, when the subject of our experience the previous night was told, they weren't the least surprised. Apparently, this resort in Medan was used to be a village before, was not a big deal of such hunting. Moreover, cemeteries were apparently in the island, and we just happened to be staying behind one. They even chipped their own encounters in the resort and stories from the neighboring resort. Upon arrival back to Singapore, I then realized that after all, the disturbance where the white lady that is observing us, which my brother saw outside the window, was due to. It was my first period when we touched down to Medan Resort, and I've left sanitary napkin in the bathroom bin. So guys, what do you think? I leave it to you guys to think, believe it or not. This is Creepy Tales.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to Creepy Tale. It's me, Harry. Today I have a story about Bukit Batok hitchhiker. This happened in the year of 2000. Well, here goes. That night, I came back from a part-time job at Raffles Towns Club. After work, normally I went home straight as in the morning I must book in. But on that particular night, that was on Thursday, my friend asked me to chill at Alif restaurant at Bukit Gombak before going back. We stayed like until 12 midnight. Then we started to bid each other goodbye, and I went to my motorbike to start my engine. Then off I go. It was a very cold and windy night as I passed the army logistic camp in Bukit Batok on the way to Choa Chu Kang Road. As you notice, there are 2 bus stops. When I passed the first bus stop, I saw a figure, woman, standing like she was waiting for the bus. I was wondering, why was she there alone at almost 12 midnight? I just proceed with my journey. Then suddenly, there's like a weight behind me, like I was passenger, someone at my back. After I passed the second bus stop, I just hit no, and maybe that was my imagination. So I rode straight home. When I reached home, my dad was at the living room watching TV. Suddenly there was a sweet smell of jasmine flower in the air. I called my dad and he asked me to wait outside for a while. Then my mom brought out a pail of water for me to wash my feet before entering the house. After everything was over, I went to my room to tuck in, but to my surprise, my room smelled full of jasmine flower. So I recite my prayer and sleep in the living room instead. When I woke up in the morning, I was down with fever. My mom noticed that red bruises, 10 fingering mark on my both shoulder. So I went to a doctor first and then visit my uncle to check up on me. I was told that there was a cheap pun or Pontianak or white girl follow me home on my way back on motorbike. But she dare not enter my house, leaving a fingerprint mark on my shoulder. So, as a reminder to all bikers, never acknowledge when seeing someone alone at midnight, or it will follow you home.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, please remember the stories that we share over here are just purely meant for entertainment purposes. Do not at any time take this seriously. And remember, always listen to Creepy
Welcome, Creepy Tale listeners. My name is Max, and today I will not be reading to you stories from our Creepy Tale listeners, but rather bring to you one of our experiences, especially on a personal note that I've encountered. This was back in 1999. As you can see from my back, we are actually at one of the sites named Bukit Gombak. Okay, and there's a small lake near the foot of the hill. So the story that I'm bringing to you, or rather an experience that I'm bringing to you, it's not related here, but rather on an island in a small island in our mainland, Pulau Ubin. Some of you may have known this island, a small recreational island with a population of, I think, less than 100 maybe. Okay, anyway, back to my experiences. Okay, me and my friends, we were secondary students back then. We planned a camping trip. It was in 1999, somewhere around June. It was our June holidays actually. So much to say, we were all excited. We had planned this out for at least 3 months ahead on what will be done on the island, what we will be bringing, who will be in the trip, and of course there were some of them who were enthusiastic about it at first, but eventually closer to the date, most of them dropped off. So finally we arrived to a complete number of 6 of us. So 6 of us consists of students from different classes, but because we were in the same school, so most of the time we bump each other at the canteen when we had our recess. And of course during that time we will discuss on the plans, what will be done on that day itself. So the itinerary would be, on that day we will have our breakfast at the Changi village before we take the boat ride to the island, and then we would rent bicycles, each of us, and we would ride up north to Kampung Noden village. Okay, this Kampung Noden village is actually a small village that used to exist back then. I'm not sure whether it's still around right now, but back then it was a favorite biking trail, and also one of the fishing spots for fishing lovers. So on that day, it happens to fall on the Thursday. Of course, for some, they believe Thursday is a spooky night. Okay? So as per plan, we had our breakfast, we rented our bikes, and by about 10 a.m. we were on our way biking up north to Kampung Noden village. So along the way, one of our friends, he had went to this island a couple of times, so he was pretty familiar of the route up to that Kampung Noden village. But strangely, on that day, we got lost, like really lost. Normally, well, this is based on his input, the bike trail will lead us directly to the Kampung Noden village. But strangely, on that day, we were actually off trail. There was no bike trail, and most of the time throughout the journey, we were on the dirt trail, which was kind of strange. Anyway, to cut the story short, so we wasted about 2 hours finding our way round and round until the I think it's the 4th round before we finally decided to take a short break, take a breather, and probably reassess our destination or the road to the Kampung Noden village. So we had this my friend, this friend who is familiar with the track, he actually has a map that he obtained from the small police station at the island itself. This police station is at the jetty. I think for those of you who wants to go to the island, it will be good for you to get a map. You can find it at the police station. Anyway, so we were checking the ground and making sure that we were still on the right track. And we went on the fifth time. And of course we said some prayers before we left. But strangely, we went into an intersection and we found a small hut. I would say a small shop, which was strange because we did not see this hut on the previous 4 rounds that we went through while finding our way to Kampung Nordin village. So my friend suggested, guys, you see that hut in front? Yeah. Why not we just take a break there, probably get some drinks and just get ourselves a good rest before we move on. Everyone just readily agreed, probably because of the tiredness of going up and down the hill, and probably frustrated because of the being lost of the actual route to Kampung Nordin village. So we went there. Nothing was amiss. Nobody suspected anything. And there was this old man or old pakcik. He offered us some food and drinks and asked us why we were rounding that area 2 to 3, 4 times, going back and forth the same location. So it was weird because we did not see the hut, but the pakcik had saw us moving around that area for a couple of times. So of course, naturally, without thinking anything, we just told the uncle that we lost our way. He just smiled and said, "It's okay. People tend to get lost around this area. Why not you just have your meal, drink up, go and wash up, and then set off. But before you set off, go and say some prayers, and then go on the actual path." So we just followed what he said. We continued without thinking anything. At the end of the day, we wanted to pay the uncle, but the pakcik say, "Oh, it's okay. I guess you guys are school kids, so just be careful and remember your prayers." That was his last words. I will tell you why I say last words later on. So after our meal, after our short break, we went on, thanking the uncle, and we followed the path based on the map. And this time round, strangely, we found the path, and we eventually reached Kampung Nordin village beach. Roughly by then it was around 4 p.m, almost to dusk. So we pitched our tent. We did not think much, and we had our normal camping trip. We had a small campfire where we did some cooking, some barbecue. My friend did some fishing. So nothing was amiss. We were there for about 2 nights. Nothing was amiss. So it was time to pack up and go back home. So on the Saturday morning, we packed up and we went back on the trail back to the jetty to take our boat ride to the mainland. So on our way back, remember we were supposed to meet up that hut that we stopped before. Guess what? The hut was not even there. It was just a dense jungle with nothing else.
I look at my friends. They look at me. Nobody said a thing. And strangely, when we look to our right, we see cemeteries. And it was a Muslim cemetery. Right there at the intersection where the hut was. I think those of you who are familiar with the Pulau Ubin track, you would know this area. So we found that this hut was not there. And it was really, really strange. But nobody said a word. So we just went on until we reached the jetty. Nobody said a single word. Everyone was just hushed, silent. So we took the boat ride to mainland, and it was then at the Changi village when we had our breakfast, or rather lunch. It was really almost 12 p.m. So we had our lunch. It was only during that lunch period that my friend broke the silence. Guys, did you not see the hut that we stopped the other day? No, that is strange. How can a hut that is built on strong foundation of wood and bricks disappeared within 2 nights? My friend even asked, what did we eat? What did we drink? Who do we talk to? So that was one of the strange encounter that we had during one of my experiences in a camping trip at Pulau Ubin. Some of you who went to Pulau Ubin may have seen this, may have talked to the pakcik, may have eaten something, but thankfully nothing bad happened to us. One thing for sure, we told ourselves that we should not be so confident whenever we are exploring areas that we are not familiar with. Then again, this is all about mysteries, strange encounters, spooky and scary stories. So remember, if you have stories that you want to share with us, send it to creepytalestrioz@gmail.com. Believe it or not, this is Creepy Tales. Hi everyone, and welcome Creepy Tales. Today we have a special guest named Alan, and we will bring to you a story that was encountered during his younger days, and probably he will share to you some of his experiences back then. So keep listening to Creepy Tales.
Hi, my name is Alan. I'd like to share with you this story when I was in the army back in the 90s, when I was just being posted out from my BMT to SNT in somewhere in Sembawang. This happened during one of our very first guard duty, which we have to be doing during our training in the camp. And during that time, we will be led by our senior, which was being in the camp for like few months already, to bring us for around the camp to let us familiarize with the checkpoint. So when we are walking around the camp, he did mention to us that there are 2 special points that we need to be careful. If we hear anything strange, smell anything, keep quiet, don't say anything, try to move on fast. So when he was bringing us around, to the very last checkpoint that we have to go, which was in a building which I can't remember. That was at the fourth floor, sorry. And the last checkpoint was beside a toilet, which was closed off long time ago. And he was telling us that this will be the last checkpoint. And if we hear anything, especially water running down, like there's like somebody showering, keep quiet, don't say anything, just hang around, move on. Just when he was finishing talking about this, all the whole group of us, we hear this water running down from the tap, as if like, how to describe, it's like the water hitting on somebody when you are showering. It's like not the water like hitting onto the floor. So everybody was shocked and looked at each other. Then we was like all wanted to run, but our senior said, it's okay, you will not disturb us, just keep your mouth shut, because the toilet is locked. Nobody can enter that toilet. But we hear clearly that there's this running water song from inside. So we follow the senior and quickly move off. Then we was all puzzled by how come this incident happened, and we heard the running water sound. I was very curious, so when I have the chance, I speak to one of my instructor. I asked him about this thing, and he was surprised that I knew about it. Then he told me this story that last time there was this incident where a recruit, I think because of love incident, couldn't take it. He hanged himself in the toilet. So from there onwards, a lot of people keep on hearing this people showering running water at night from the toilet. When they go and check, there's nobody. So it got to freak everybody out. So I think as time goes by, I think the commander decided to close off the toilet. So nobody is to enter there. But after that, we still keep on hearing that sound. But lucky for me, that was the first and the very last time I heard this showering water, running water from the toilet. But I have some friends that they say they did hear sound coming, one running water coming, and when they try to call in, they heard a reply and they ran off. So I was lucky. I was one of the lucky that is the first time I heard and the last time I heard. So I think that would be all for me to say. Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, please remember the stories that we share over here are just purely meant for entertainment purposes. Do not at any time take this seriously. And remember, always listen to Creepy
Yeah, hi. I was actually volunteering myself to tell a story lah. Actually, I stay in Bukit Gombak area lah. But I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm actually just taking this opportunity to just tell the Creepy Tales crews about what is all about in Bukit Gombak lah. I've been staying here since I was young, and again, my parents don't plan to move out, and I'm still schooling somewhere around in Bukit Gombak. I don't have to say, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it's what time is it? It's 2:25 a.m. And I'm here to just share with you what actually happened, or in my experience when I was on my way home from school, because I was doing camps in school, you see. So when night time, when I want to go back home, so I need to take the MRT, and I stop in Bukit Gombak. So when I drop off from Bukit Gombak, my usual routine, I will just walk through. Yeah, no, I just heard some sound, but yeah. Okay, so I just walked through the Bukit Gombak, like the behind the stadium area, right? So that's normally where I walk. So I just like walk in, and then my block is just right over there. So it's like shortcut, you see. Yeah. So if you want to walk the long cut, you just walk by the road, but sometimes I'm just too tired and I want to go back fast lah. So that's where I always walk here. Like it becomes my routine. Yeah. So the story here is if they've been telling me about some nene, or some old lady lah. It's like it's typically a grandmother lah, basically. I don't know, is she or yeah, it lingers around normally at night. You don't see her really in the daytime, you see, but just nighttime. So when I was walking home one day lah, when I was just finished my camp, for info, my CCA is Red Cross lah. So during that night, I went back home because my parents fell ill, and I had to take an urgent leave and leave the campsite. I mean, leave the school and walk back home. You see, took the MRT down to Bukit Gombak and just just walk my normal routine through this area lah. So what actually happened here is when I was walking, right, I don't really think so much. I was on my iPods and listening to my song, and then next thing is I saw a grandmother lah, and when it seems like the grandmother was looking for something. So out of goodwill, I just asked lah the grandmother lah. But yeah, I asked him in English because I don't know whether if it's a Malay nene or or it's ama, So I just say English. It seems like you're looking for something, right? So what you finding? So she was like squinting her eyes and like saying, I looking for my grandchild. And I say, where is the last time you see the grandchild lah? They say basically the grandchild lah, it's playing in the quarry. Okay, right now it's very eerie, and I mean I got goosebumps because actually I'm facing the quarry right now, and yeah, you see the water just okay. Yeah, I shouldn't say anything, right? Yeah, this the query that the auntie says lah, or I mean the grandmother or mother, yeah, nenek some. So in this story, I was totally positive. It was like probably 12:30 in the morning, midnight. So I just tell her, query, but it's already midnight, so cannot be the daughter, probably the daughter went back home really lah. So she just say okay, and then she stopped talking and she just turned her back. So I said, okay, thank you, bye bye, and just walk off lah. It's normal, for me. It's just like, okay, I've helped someone, I didn't know, I say I didn't know, and just say bye bye and just walk off because I just need to go back home. So at the point of time when I was walking back home, I had just had this urge to just turn back and look at the auntie, or I mean the grandma, to see whether she's still looking for people lah. But the thing is, when I turned back, it was just midst of 10 seconds. Yeah, 10 seconds like that. I turned back, then the grandma is not there lah. So I thought, okay lah, maybe the grandma go back lah. But you think about it lah, if the grandma can really run lah, because I don't think it's a very straight path on top, right? It's a gravel-like flooring. It's not smooth, you see, so it's not really easy to walk on it. And the split next 10 seconds, the grandma was not there anymore lah. So I got shocked and told myself, okay, maybe think positive, just think positive, and okay, I just need to go back home. So the next moment when I look forward, I walked down the stairs and I saw that grandmother just right in front of me at the lamppost, and I was right behind her, meaning to say her face was actually facing forward and I'm right at the back of her, and I can see the back of her hair lah, so So what you want me to do? You know, I don't say anything. I just say, grandma, you managed to find? No answer. And then she just turned her body very slowly, and the next moment, the face that I saw was not that grandmother. It's how I would describe it is, the face is very pale. Okay, so I'm just gonna reveal how it looks like, because I mean, I accidentally saw, right? I got shocked, and then next thing I ran back. You see, I ran back. I don't care anymore. I just ran. But what I saw is a very pale kind of face, very whitish, like, you know, no blood. Okay, guys, you're with me, right, guys? Yeah. I'm just checking if the creepy crews are with me, you know, because I'm facing here. I don't see any one of them right behind me, so I just need to get assurance, you see. So I ran back. But what I could not forget was the face. It was pale white. The lips was totally pale, not even the pink lips. See, it's very kind of like, I don't know, is dry or wet, because I didn't touch those, you know, but it's just very pale. The hair is just, you know, just across one of the face. And actually, the most interesting part here, when I can't remember, I don't say I can't remember, but it's most part that I think it's I will say the figure of the nose. The figure of the nose is actually, you know, the normal people nose, right, is this down, right? But that his nose, I mean, her nose is just like tilted. Yeah, so it's tilted. And that day was the one and only day. It became my last time I walked the routine on this trail. Up till now, I'm walking the long way on the roadside, and I shared with my mom and my dad. Fortunately, when they talked to my grandma, my own grandmother say, try to avoid walking here at night. I mean, it's okay to walk on the afternoon, you see, morning or afternoon when it's brighter and lit, but try to avoid walking this place again. My parents didn't know I'm here, and to share this story, and it's like now it's 2:35 in the morning, and yeah, I'm glad that I had this chance to share this Creepy Tales Cruise, to share this story, because as a resident or person who have lived in Bukit Gombak, it's a tales that maybe, you know, we need to share to the people who is living on the eastern side and northern side and the south. Yeah, you guys hear that, right? I mean, yeah. Well, again, before I end my topic, it's basically I'm sitting down here sharing my stories, and not to reveal my identity. I'm actually facing the I would call it the pond here, the pond or the quarry. And you see the stones here are basically very dark, because it's like, again, 2:35 in the morning, and yeah, slight distances. Yeah, that's all. I think that's it for me. Thank you very much, Creepy Cruise. Yeah, I'll sign off the storytelling. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in Creepy Tales. Well, if you have creepy stories to share, you could email us at creepytalestrioz@gmail.com.